Hello, geometry kids. How are you guys? Hopefully you're getting outside. It's finally warming up, being nice out. All right, continuing on with 9-5, day 3. And yes, there's a day 4. 9-5 is a long section, and in 40-minute chunks, it takes a while to get through it. Anyway, today we're going to continue on our venture learning about right triangles, about their sides and their angles. So far, we've learned about how to find the sides of a special right triangle, 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90. And then we moved on to finding triangles that aren't those two specials and finding, for example, like what the ratio of the sides of a 20, 70, 90 degree triangle. Sine, cosine, and tangent is used in a lot of fields, especially in building, architecture, lots of different construction, lots of different fields. All right, so today we're going to move on to finding an angle. So how would we find the angle? What if we have the sides and we want to figure out the angle? So that's what we're going to work on today. You're going to once again need a calculator. As you can see, I have the TI calculator up. That calculator is on your Google Classroom. If you want to download this exact calculator, you can. It's free for 6 months. All right, so let me turn on my pen. All right, what we're going to do today is we're going to work on trying to find that angle. We're trying to find angle X in degrees. So what is angle X in degrees? So I'm going to look at what I have. Here's the angle I'm trying to find. I'll get up my pointer. There it is. And okay, so we have this side, 24. The 24, if you look at the X, that is opposite. And then we have the 20, which is right next to it. That is adjacent. And then we don't know what the hypotenuse is. All right, so what trigonometric ratio, there's your big long word, uses opposite and adjacent? So I'm going to write this out because you need to know this for everything we're going to do for trig. SOHCAHTOA. I got my pen, but it still is hard to write on a screen, so I'm doing the best I can. All right, so which one uses the opposite and the adjacent? That would be tangent. So I am going to write out my equation. So it is going to be the tangent of x, we don't know what x is, that's our angle, is equal to opposite, which is 24 divided by 20. So today our goal is to figure out x. How in the world do we figure out x? Okay, well, what we have is a tangent of the angle is equal to the fraction, the ratio of two sides. So if we're trying to find the tangent of an angle, we would just use the tangent button that's over here. But what if we want to figure out the angle instead of the ratio? And that's what we have today. All 8 problems today are going to be finding the angle instead of the ratio. What we can do is we can flip it. It's called the inverse. You're going to learn more about that next year as well. So we can flip the angle and the fraction. So we can rewrite this as tangent inverse. That's tangent to the power of -1. So tangent inverse of 24 over 20 is equal to x, which is the angle. And that x is in degrees. All right, then we can simply just solve this problem on our calculator. So we come over here to our calculator. And first of all, I need to put the calculator in degrees. I purposely left it in radians. I'll point to where you can see mine is in radians, RAD. So I want to change that to degrees. So I'm going to go to mode. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to scroll down on the down arrow. If I can get to the down arrow. Sorry, hang on. Where's my pointer? Okay, so I'm going to go down to down. Down is in radians. I'm going to click over to degrees. I'm going to highlight degrees and hit enter. And now can you see that it switched to degrees? Now it's in degrees. So now I can go second, quit, and now I can do my problem. So I need the tangent inverse. The tangent inverse is in blue above tangent. So I'm going to hit the blue second button. And then I'm going to hit tangent inverse. And then I'm going to type in 24 divided by 20. And then I'm going to hit enter. And it will give me how many x is in degrees. Crazy, I know. All right. So x, oops, I got to go back to my writer. So x is equal to the nearest, 10th of a degree. So that's going to be 50.2 degrees. And that is your answer. So I'm going to bring that out onto the screen for the kids who just look at the notes. Come on. Oh, now I gotta go back to my pointer. Sorry, it's a little cumbersome. I'd rather be in class with you guys. It'd be a lot easier. Okay, so I gotta highlight that. Nope. Okay, come on. Don't laugh. I know you are. It's all right. All right. So there is how I find it. That's how I put it in my calculator. I'm gonna erase this button for later. All right, so 50.2 degrees. What if I wanted to check and see if I did it right? I can put in the tangent of 50.2 degrees, and it should be that ratio 24 over 20. I get 1.20023. Now I can put in 24 divided by 20 and hit enter, and there it is. There it is, 1.2. Okay, so you can check your answer to see if you did it right. Why aren't those exact? Why isn't the 1.2 and the 1.200237278 exactly the same? Well, because what did we do to the 50.2? We rounded the 50.2. So remember, the rounded answer is exactly that, rounded. It's never the exact answer. This answer right here is rounded. So that's why that doesn't exactly match. All right, okay. And I would like to ask for questions, but I can't because you guys aren't here. So anyway, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next question. And maybe we'll even be under our 15 minutes today. We'll find out. Okay, so let me fix this. Okay, all right, next question. Okay, so we're gonna look at this triangle. And what does this triangle have? Again, we're trying to find the angle. Here's your angle. We have an opposite and we have a hypotenuse. All right, so what uses opposite and hypotenuse? Well, that would be the sine. So once again, I can write my equation. So I am going to write this as the sine of x is equal to 14 divided by 17, opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so how do we figure out what the angle is? We have to switch the angle and the degrees. So I can switch that, and I can say that the sine inverse of 14 over 17 is equal to x. And then I simply go over to my calculator, and I'm already in degrees, so we're good there. I'm going to go to sine inverse. I'm going to go to second inverse sine, and I'm going to put in 14 divided by 17, and I'm going to hit enter, and I get 55.43 degrees. So my answer is going to be x is equal to 55.4 degrees. And that is my answer. All right, once again, what if I wanted to check that answer? Well, I can hit the sine of 55.4, and I can see that it is 0.82, and then I can do 14 divided by 17 and see that that ratio is very close to the same. Now, once again, it's not exactly the same because we rounded 55.2, so it's not going to be exactly the same. Oops. Okay, sorry, I'm going to erase this. Go back to my pointer so I can move this over here, and then you guys can see that. All right, so plugging in that sine of 55.4 degrees and then finding the ratio 14 over 17, that's just checking to make sure that my 55.4 is correct. Ha, we're going to be well under 15 minutes today. What a goal. All right, here we go, last one. Okay, so for this one, here's my angle. And what do I have? I have the adjacent, which is 8, and I have the hypotenuse, which is 15. So what trig function is adjacent and hypotenuse? Well, that is cosine. All right, so once again, I can set up my angle. So I'm going to, or my trig equation. So I'm going to say, oops, okay, I need my pen again. I'll never be used to this. I'll always want to be in the classroom. All right, so the cosine of x is equal to 8 divided by 15. All right, so there's my equation. I'm trying to find the angle. So in order to find the angle, I have to switch the angle and the ratio. So I need to switch that. So when I switch that, I end up doing the inverse. So it's going to be the cosine inverse of 8 divided by 15, that is an 8, is equal to x. Okay, so then I go to my calculator, and I need inverse cosine, which is above the cosine button. So second inverse cosine of 8 divided by 15, and then hit enter, and I'm going to get my answer. X is equal to 57.8 degrees. They're not always in the 50s. These just worked out to be that way. All right, now if I want to check my answer, I can take the cosine of 57.8, enter, and then I can take 8 divided by 15, enter, and you can see those are pretty close. That reinforces that this, yes, is in fact just an estimate. That's why they didn't come out to be exactly the same. And I can pull this over. Come on. Come on. There we go. Let me go to my pointer. Getting better here. Oops, come on. Make that smaller. All right. And there are the people who are just checking out the notes and can't get online to do this. All right. Last thing I want to do is I'm going to clear this out again, and I'm going to do second inverse cosine of 8 divided by 15. I'll show you one other thing. Okay, there is my exact answer. Now, if I wanted to check my exact answer, I can just do cosine. I can either type that whole thing in, 57.769047636, 04736, or I can do the ANS button. The ANS button is above the negative sign. So if I hit second and then go down here to my negative button, which is ANS, and put in my parentheses and hit that, that is the cosine of the answer above. So it's above, it's down here right there. If you can see my pointer here, I'm moving it. Above the negative sign is ANS. Now when I do the cosine, or excuse me, now when I do 8 divided by 15, oops, not 5, 8. 8 divided by 15. Oh my goodness, sorry. 15. It will match exactly because I use the exact answer, not the rounded answer. All right, 12 minutes, 42 seconds. It's a record. All right, have a wonderful day. You've got 8 problems like this. I should go pretty quickly. If you have a question, meet me on the Google Meets. All right, have a great day, you guys. Bye.